Proceed with today's topic, that is, organizations in work. Alright. So yesterday we started talking about the navigations in Workday and we talked about some of the key areas in the screen that we see. We see the Workday icon on the top left hand of our screen and we said that we know now that it is equivalent to the home button that we see on our mobile phones, right? If you want to come back to this landing page or to the workbench, etc. Before we start working on something else, we can click on the Workday icon. Then we have the search bar. And the search bar we can search for objects that are present in Workday, right? We have to type the correct spelling and we need to have the access to do that particular task. Then we will be able to find it. Then we talked about modifications in box. We talked about applications and then we saw how we can add rows when we see a grid, how we can remove rows. We also saw that we can configure the applications by clicking on this gear icon on our landing page on our workbench. This was the basics of navigation, and then we also talked a little bit about the 6 core concepts that we have in Workday XCM. We started with supervisor organizations, which is somewhat that we group the employees into a management hierarchy, who reports to whom kind of structure, and this is a required foundation for Workday XCM. This is the core, this is the base on which Workday XCM is built. Supervisory organizations. We will talk about that in detail into model session. Then we talked about stuffing models. So it defines how jobs and positions are created and filled in a supervisor organization. We took the example of the sales director versus some sales associates. We tried to contrast the difference between the planning of these two types of positions. Then a job profile is another very important goal concept in Workday XCM and it defines the generic features and characteristics of a job and the positions that are built from the job profile. Another goal concept is of course compensation. The compensation that is being assigned to the employees. When we talk about the organization, we will talk about the compensation package. The grade profile, different types of plans like allowance plans, bonus plans, commission plans that can be assigned to an employee. And then we have security. And in security, we will talk about the security group. The group of users who need to have the same kind of permissions. We will talk about security policies, security items. And the last goal concept that we will talk about and that is very important for Workday XCM is business processes. The functional consultants will need to focus a lot on this particular topic. Business processes is very important from the functional perspective. It is a sequence of one or more tasks that accomplishes a desired business objective. So this is we will talk about how to set up conditional logic, how to set up approval tasks. How we'll design the business process in Workday based on the requirements that we have from our business consultants. Right of the business analysts. We will create the business processes. We will optimize them. We will see which one can be marked as a completion step, and so on. So these are the 6 core concepts that we have in Workday XCM. So today we will start talking about organizations. But before we do that, we will start the detailed discussion from today's session, just for everybody's understanding. So how would we understand what we missed? Well, you did not miss anything. We just talked about the navigation, no problem. You can look at the recording from yesterday's session, or whenever we are going through the topics. I will anyway cover those things one more time. Okay, as and when we do the tasks, we will see the navigation again. Many, so you have not missed anything. Okay. Just for the sake of everybody. Okay. So we will start with Introduction to Organizations today, and then we will talk about supervisory organizations in tomorrow's session. Supervisory organization hierarchy structure, and then we will talk about locations and so on. So this is a detailed agenda. I want you to keep the link handy. This will have all the 30 sessions and the agenda for all the 30 sessions. Now, what is important for this document is that, next to each of these topics, there is the additional material or the prep work that I want you to do before each class. Okay, these consist of some videos from YouTube. These are very, very small videos, 5-6 minutes. What I want you to do is I want you to go through them before each class so that you are aware about the concepts that we are going to cover in the next session. Okay. And you can participate better in the class and you can relate to what we are discussing. Okay. So I want you to go through this prep work kind of every day before we start the next session. So this sometimes are a prep, like it is a day in advance for some of the topics, and for some of the topics it is on the same day itself. So that will act as a revision of the topics that we are covering in class. Alright. So I want you to keep this document handy. If possible, download it, save it in your drive, save it in your local computer and then refer to this as we in the class. Okay. So now let's proceed to the discussion on organizations. Now, when I say organizations, what is the thing that comes to your mind? What do you understand by the word organization? Anything, it can be anything, right? So just let me know. What do you understand by organization? Profitable versus non-profitable, okay. Interesting. Yes, a department, alright. Somebody says Shrita says a company at large, okay. A group of people working towards the common goal. Okay. Interesting, yes. And a club. We are now going to say yes. Can a labor union, be an organization? Yes. Yes. Right. Right. Can let's say, a group of people who meet every morning for their morning walk, can that be an organization? Yes. No. People who share the same passion for music. Can that be an organization? Yeah, yes. Can you write? So what is the underlying common factor between all these things, like from a company that you mentioned to, let's say, a group of people who share the passion for music? What is the common thing between all of these different types of entities? Let's say interest, yes. Of course the purpose is okay, the gather, right. I'm getting different words. Very, very interesting perspectives. But yeah, it is a group of people with a common purpose. Yes, Prasi. Thank you for the word. It organizes workers into groups that serve a common purpose. All right. These people are together for a common purpose, right? Maybe their passion for music, right? Maybe they play a particular sport. That's why they are in a club, right? So that is what defines organization. We will not equate that, okay? Organization means a company, organization means a department. No, it does not necessarily mean that. It can mean many different things. We will take organization for the literal meaning of the term, which is a group of workers that serve a common purpose. Right. From work. This perspective, we are mostly concerned with workers' right. Workers who belong to a particular enterprise can be profitable. Organization can be a non-profit organization as well. But we are mostly concerned with workers who are part of an enterprise. So that's why we will say organized. An organization is something that organizes workers into groups that serve a common purpose. Now in your organization, in the entity, in the workforce. What are some of the different groupings that you may have seen? One is department. Let me give you one example. One is a department where you are grouped into right. Now, what is that department? And what is that basis of that grouping?